Welcome back. 5:30 is the time. Our developing story this morning comes once again out of San Mateo. KRON 4's Jackie Sissel live right now outside of Hillsdale High School with the latest, and it was Hillsdale that was the center of a major story yesterday morning, Jackie.
It was, James. Hillsdale High is closed again today after that chaotic scene out here yesterday morning, shortly after 8 o'clock, when apparently an ex-student, is what they're describing him now, came in and detonated two pipe bomb. The school was evacuated. Students were sent over to a nearby middle school. Parents obviously notified. A chaotic scene out here, as I described it. That suspect was taken into custody, but the Hillsdale High School was a crime scene until very late last night. So because of that and because of some of the damage inside of the high school, Hillsdale High is going to remain closed today. Now, whether or not they reopen on Wednesday will be determined at a later time, probably today, I would assume, but depending on what kind of damage is inside the school, they may reopen again on Wednesday. Also, counselors and psychologists will be available for Hillsdale staff and students starting around 8 o'clock this morning. A much different scene out here this morning. In fact, James, strangely enough, a lot of the students and staff cars are still here in the parking lot. Because this was a crime scene until late last night, a lot of the vehicles had to be left here. Kind of a strange scene at 5:30 in the morning to see so many cars in the parking lot. But a lot of people in this neighborhood and around this school are probably breathing a sigh of relief to get back to normal in the day or the next day or so.
All right, yeah, Jackie, thank you very much. And again, if you're just joining us, Jackie just reported Hillsdale High School will remain closed again today. They hope to reopen tomorrow, but they'll make that final determination later on this afternoon. In the meantime, let's talk more about the suspect. He is a 17-year-old former Hillsdale High School student. You can see him here being taken into custody yesterday afternoon, or yesterday morning, as a matter of fact. Police say he entered the high school at about 8 a.m. He was armed with 10 pipe bombs, a chainsaw, and a sword. Now, police got their first call at about 8:07. They dispatched a SWAT team and officers from several of the surrounding counties, but teachers and administrators there in the high school that heard the first explosion had no intention of waiting around for police to arrive. They took matters into their own hands. Here's what the police chief and the principal had to say about all that.
The suspect attempted to leave the school and was confronted by a third teacher who tackled the suspect, who was still wearing 8 pipe bombs attached to his tactical vest. At that time, a third teacher and our principal, Jeff Gilbert, arrived and restrained the suspect. It was absolutely heroic, calm, and measured quick response.
We know that our most important calling is to keep the students safe. And on a monthly basis, we train for any number of emergency situations. We do lockdown drills, we do earthquake drills, and we do evacuation drills. And that training certainly paid off today.
And by 11 o'clock, all of the school's 1,200 students were ultimately picked up by their parents. You can see them lined up around the fence here with the students inside that fenced-in play yard. IDs were checked, parents were reunited with their children and sent home. And now more on that suspect, 17-year-old Alex Ushok. That's his name. This, of course, video of him being arrested. Investigators also searched his home. You can see here police tape around that home there in San Mateo. That is where he lives with his mother and sister. Many of his neighbors actually were taken aback when they learned he was the main suspect in the case. They describe him as being quiet and somebody who always kept to himself. We'll have more on this, obviously, as this case develops. And for the latest on the bombing at Hillsdale High School, log on to our website, KRON4.com. Any new information we find out, we'll post there. So check it out. We also have the entire police news conference about the incident as well. So if you want to listen to that press conference, you can. Just log on to KRON4.com. All right, the time now is 5:34. Let's get over to the weather desk right now. Drew Harmon standing by with a look at your Tuesday forecast, see how things are shaping up. Good morning, Drew.
Good morning, James. Shaping up nicely out there. In fact, a mild forecast once again today. Temperatures just below the average all around the bay, into next week. Right now it's 5:36 on the KRON 4 Morning News. Let's get a check on traffic with George.
And a look at the ride on Highway 4 and Contra Costa traffic. A pretty good look, too. Here you see southbound 160. 12 minutes getting toward the bridge. And that's, by the way, from the Carquinez Bridge, heading out of Crockett and down past Willow and Pinole. No delays there either, or at the Highway 4 on-ramp. James.
All right, George, thank you very much. 5:39 the time. New details for you this morning in the Hassani Campbell missing child case. KRON 4 has now confirmed there are 3 additional search warrants that have been filed in this case. Police, though, will not say what they're looking for in these documents because they say they're sealed. in the Alameda County Courthouse. Oakland police, though, did tell KRON 4 that Hassani Campbell, the search at least for that child, is still an active investigation. They are still pursuing leads. Meanwhile, another vigil was held last night for that 5-year-old. The vigil began at 6:30 in the parking lot where Hassani was reported missing back on August 10th. Hassani's family members are trying to raise money to increase the reward for information leading to his recovery. Oakland police and Crime Stoppers have announced a $10,000 reward, but family members would like that amount to be increased, so they're working to push that effort forward. And for continuing coverage of the search for Hassani Campbell, stay with KRON 4. We have a special section on our website at KRON4.com. You can find all the stories and the links that we've put together here related to the search for that missing child. Check it out, KRON4.com. And we're also following the latest with Michael Jackson as well. Just to give you a quick update again, the coroner in Los Angeles has deemed his death a homicide, and the person at the center of the investigation is Dr. Conrad Murray, Michael Jackson's personal physician. Apparently there were lethal doses of propofol in his bloodstream, that powerful anesthetic that's normally used in operating rooms. The doctor says he didn't give anything to Michael Jackson that should have killed him, so he still maintains his innocence. More on that as it develops. In the meantime, we're following the latest with TMZ. They did a study of Michael Jackson's finances, and you'd be surprised to know that he was paper rich and cash poor. His net worth is estimated to be about $1.3 billion, but a good portion of that, $1.1 billion, was tied up in his rights to the Beatles catalog. Other property, Neverland Ranch, estimated at $73 million. Restricted cash, which is cash that he has to hold aside to pay interest on the loans that he has, about $10 million. $20 million worth of media archive material, and the list goes on. But actual cash on hand, cash in the bank that he could quickly withdraw and spend if he had to, about $600,000. A man worth $1.3 billion only had about $600 in actual cash that he could work with. And, you know, his spending habits are well known. He spent that much in just 2 trips to antique shops in the past. So kind of surprising to find out he was that cash poor. But that's the latest on Michael Jackson coming out of TMZ this morning. We'll follow the latest developments online as well. And don't forget, at 8 o'clock this morning, at about 8:15, Ivan Gold will be in the studio. Legal analyst, a man who has worked personally with Michael Jackson and his family. He'll be here to share his insights on what has developed here in the last 24 hours. A homicide investigation now underway. Lethal levels of propofol. We'll ask him about it coming up in our 8 o'clock hour. Stay with us.